All right, everybody, I am back with another DC update, and this is trailing off of my last video. I still have people attacking me about calling both King and Tom Cruise of basically not being honest with their reviews. And I want to make it very clear that those are my assumptions. I'm not accusing them of that. It's what I'm assuming. I do know for a fact that all of this hype surrounding The Flash is fabricated, okay? The studio is fearful of having another flop. There are investors, and for people who don't know how movies are made, there are investors that it's not Hollywood who bankrolls these films. It's investors who give their money to Hollywood, and they want a return on their investment. And right now, those investors are freaking out. And so is Warner Brothers Discovery. They don't want another flop on their hands, which could very well happen. It looks like it's tracking to be another flop, that it will not make its money back. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. That first weekend is going to be telling because it's not going to go up after that. It will only go down. So that first weekend is critical. I have tickets to go that first weekend. I didn't hate the movie. I liked it enough to go see it again. All right. But that Zack Snyder quote was bullcrap, and I have proof. And I have people coming in and saying, are you calling Zack Snyder a liar now and all this other stuff? It's not true. That quote from the Hollywood Reporter was completely fabricated. And I have two things I'm going to show you that are going to prove that it's false. We're going to look back at that original post that I showed you in the last video. And then we're going to look at something I just grabbed. And this is pretty crazy. So let's take a look at this stuff. All right, so the first thing I wanted to show you guys here is this is the Discussing Film, which is a real account, but look at what their handle is. It's Discussing Film. This is another parody account. They totally fabricated this quote from the Hollywood Reporter. And none of this is true. It's not true. This account has done this multiple times. They're doing stuff just to be anti-Snyder, all right? And I'm hoping that they can get in trouble for stuff like this. I don't think it should be legal for you to say that so-and-so said this if they didn't actually say it. That's one of the things that I hate about news today. You know, people could say that they have these sources, undisclosed sources, and you don't know if any of this stuff is true. This is not true, and I have another photo that's going to prove it here. This just came out on the Flash Film News just an hour ago. And this is from Cinema Blend, and it's Andy Muschietti talking about Zack Snyder and how he honored Zack Snyder in the film. Andy Muschietti said he honored Zack Snyder in The Flash and would love for Zack to watch it, which means Zack Snyder has not seen the movie. He goes on to say, I would love Zack to watch this movie. I think we honored the part of the movie that he created in terms of characters and characterizations and cast, so I think he would enjoy it. All right, guys, there you go. This is from the director himself. So who's the liar? All right. I didn't even notice when I posted that in my last video that it came from that parody account, but it's not a real account. Zack Snyder has not seen the movie. He never said that. I don't know what it's going to take for people, and I want to see those same people coming after me start criticizing these other sites for putting out false information, because I do not put out false information. I gather the news and I bring it to you guys. I'm not a scooper, and I've said that many times. Now, I do have one other photo that we're going to look at here. Now, this came from Variety, and Sasha Calle, who stars as Supergirl in The Flash, asked for Henry Cavill's blessing. I gave him a big hug. It's Henry Cavill. Man, our Man of Steel. I asked him, did I make you proud, cuz? Does Superman approve? And he was like, absolutely. Supergirl actor Sasha Calle asked for Henry Cavill's blessing after filming The Flash. And I will tell you this. Her role in the film, she does a great job as Supergirl. I just wish there would have been more in there with her. You're going to find that she's really not, she doesn't have a lot of screen time. And I really wish she would have had more. It's It's probably my biggest disappointment with the film is that her role is so reduced to very little. She doesn't have very much screen time at all. And this is going to get into a little bit of a spoiler here, but when they break her out, she goes off to see Zod, and she's gone for a good portion of the film. When the Barrys are dealing with Batman deciding to go take down Zod, she's off. She's gone. She's not even there with them. And so there's, like I said, there's some weird things with the pacing and the way the story plays out. And it's just weird. But Henry Cavill, again, he's a nice guy. He's going to give his blessing. And I'm glad he did that, and that she was able to do it with the blessing of the person who, embodied this character for the last 10 years. And it's a shame we never saw him in another film. All right, so there are some people in my comments just making ridiculous statements. You guys can make all the statements you want. You're not going to beat me down to make me change my mind about what James Gunn is doing. You're not going to make me change my mind about not having Henry Cavill back as Superman. I'm sorry, but the studio made some very big mistakes, and it's costing them money at this stage. And they have to realize their mistake. It's not going to get better for them. They need to correct the ship, and the DCU is not going to do that. What James Gunn is going to do is not going to correct the ship, and they will continue to suffer. I can all but guarantee it. I follow movies. I've been following movies ever since I was a teenager, and I've been following them my adult life. I have a pretty good beat on what's going on with the movie universe, not just DC stuff, but movies in general. And this is not tracking well, and it's not going to do well. I don't think that the Flash movie is even going to make its budget back. People are like, oh, we'll love it if it makes $700 million. Do you realize that that would be a failure? According to how everybody says we should gauge these superhero films making $1 billion, how would a Flash movie with Michael Keaton back as Batman not make $1 billion? If it makes $700 million, it's not even going to make a profit because of all of the marketing that they've had to spend money on, all of the reshoots, and there have been a crap ton of reshoots in this movie, like a crap ton, because the movie finished principal photography a couple of years ago, but then James Gunn came, and there were changes after that, and then James Gunn came in and changed even more. So there are some definite things that happen in this movie that are definitely changes because of James Gunn. So that all costs money to keep changing a movie over and over and over again. So no one's going to change my mind on this. Like, the only thing that's going to change is if the box office goes gangbusters with this movie, and I don't think it's going to. I just don't think it's going to. And word of mouth will get around when it finally does come out that it is not the juggernaut that the studio is claiming it is. So it's still a decent, fun movie, and it's going to resonate with some people, but it's all on nostalgia. If you look at the actual Flashpoint storyline itself, it is not told in the best way possible, and it definitely missed on some stuff. And I am hoping that the version I see in a couple of weeks is going to be a much better version, and I will be reporting on that as soon as I get done seeing it. There'll be a whole new review up. All right, so that is my final update. Unless something big happens later, I will not be doing another update, but I'll still be gathering stuff, and I will bring you updates from the road. I may even post a video. I'll see if it's all right with my friends. I'll post a video of us there, and on the way back, I'll get some video of all of us, and maybe I'll include them in my next video. But, yeah, I'm really kind of getting disgusted with people in my comments. You guys are on your high horse thinking you're perfect at everything, and you don't criticize anything else, but you'll sure criticize what I'm doing. So just to let you guys know, it doesn't deter me in any way, shape, or form. You guys can post whatever you want. It's not going to change my mind. I'm a DC guy through and through, and I've proven that through many different things. And we're going to see what the future holds. But if they don't finish out the original storyline and they just take this detour like they're doing now, I can all but guarantee that plan B is for Barry to go back to that original timeline. It's an easy out for them if the gun stuff doesn't work. And I don't think it's going to work. They're going to have to do something amazing. And with the budgets having to be so small to make a profit because there's going to be fewer people going to the movies, they're really going to have to make them on a budget, and I just don't see this turning out well. All right, so there's my update. I do appreciate the support. We will see you on the next video.